How you doing? This is Oli Billson, and I am with
Tom Breeze. Hey, how you doing, Ollie?
I'm good, very well, thank you.
So I nearly forgot my name there. So not a great start, but yeah, I'm ready now.
That's oh, you killed me. Oh, I'm going again. This is
all right.
Okay, here we go. Right. Hey, how you doing? This is Oli Billson, and I am with
Tom Breeze. Hey, Ollie, how you doing?
I am good, Tom. We are both in black for those people that can see us on the video. Men in black. I feel kind of like a bit of a ninja. To be honest with you, I'm like all in black, and it's hot. It's hot here today. So
The funnel ninja, yeah.
Funnel ninja, yeah. It's a good product, actually. That is, if anybody wants to go and get involved with a GKIC Dan Kennedy project product, yeah, Ninja Funnels.
Oh, not Funnel Ninja though.
No,
no one's got that yet.
Nobody's got that. I better go and get the domain, to be honest.
Yeah.
So cool. So I know that we talk a lot about the kind of result triangle, as I would put it, market, message, media, and often how we try and align ourselves from a marketing perspective to try and get the message as close match to the avatar as we can do to increase conversion rates on whatever it may be. And we've talked a lot about that, about how we can do that, but you've also got quite an interesting spin on the message, the marketing message, to actually the moment that somebody is in. And I just wanted to explore that a little bit more so you can put some more context around it and kind of dive into how that works and why it's important.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'll explain moments. I know we've spoken about moments before, and it's a bit of a psychological standpoint, but I'll try and kind of be as clear as possible as I go through this. And it's really trying to make sure that any advertising or any promotion that you do, when we're thinking about our clients that we promote, we almost look at it as like, how can we make it inevitable that someone that could be interested in our client's product gets to see what the product's all about and wants to find out more? We're kind of like, how do we make it inevitable that they're going to be seen, they're going to be liked, and are going to want, that consumer is going to want to buy? And it's quite a big task when you take it on board, when you think, right, there's so many different ways of doing it. How do we do it? What do we say? And all of that comes into play, because I know that at sometimes we'll go onto YouTube or we'll go onto Facebook or wherever it is that we're at, and we see irrelevant ads all the time. And we know that it's just like, we see it and it annoys us, it gets us frustrated. And it just doesn't have to be that way. And there's people that just keep on bombarding people with the same ad all the time. It's the wrong way of doing it. And there's a much, much better way. But it's trying to get a really deep understanding of our customers and showing up at the right times, basically, and saying the right thing in those times as well. And there's two sides of it. There's one, the theory of it, and then there's one that's the application. And hopefully we'll be able to tap into both, because I think that will really be a key area. But just so we're aware of some context here and getting a bit of flesh on the bone, so to speak, I have talked about, because I'm writing a book on this at the moment, we've got kind of like case studies that we'll use, like weddings, or we'll use things like someone running a marathon or someone who's starting up their own business. But let's put ourselves on the spot here, so you can see how I would think about things. So Ollie, and this is not one of those like magic tricks, which is kind of like, hey, let's just grab someone random in the audience and you know who it is. But this is actually one of those scenarios like, okay, let's think about a different type of business. It could be bricks and mortar, online, whatever it is. I don't really mind. But I want to use that as the case study as such, to be like, right, we can think about how we will get in front of those customers, if that makes sense. So do you have an idea of what type of business you could think of? Okay. Let's... I know I put you on the spot there.
Yeah, no. Okay, let's think about maybe a spa.
A spa, okay, cool. Like a health and fitness type spa that you'll go there.
Maybe kind of a beauty spa, you know.
Beauty spa, okay.
You're more familiar on this topic than me. Obviously, how good that skin is. You spend far too much time involved. But yeah.
All right, this has just turned into an insult now. Thanks, mate.
That's fine. You've got so basically you've got a head start on me on any insider information in regards to how we market this spa.
Yeah. Which spa are you talking about? There's so many around me. Yeah. All right. Okay. So spas. All right. So, well, let's say, for example, you're a spa owner and you're looking to get more customers, but you know in the regular places it's going to be expensive. So by advertising on somewhere like Google in a local area and advertising on keywords like spa in or luxury spa in London, let's say, for example, you know that's where everyone is advertising. And so it's much more expensive there. And that's why I think a lot of people have struggles with. It's like not finding those areas which are like little pockets that you think, wow, that's become so lucrative for us. And they never really tap into it. So hopefully we can, for any spa owner that's listening, this should be a good old episode for you. Well, hopefully. I'm banking on the fact that this content's going to be good. So we'll see how this goes on. So when a potential customer for a spa is thinking about going to a spa, and I'm kind of thinking of a new customer as such, like someone that you haven't had before, because there's email marketing, there's that regular kind of like follow-up and things, or kind of loyalty cards and stuff that would all play a part. But this is kind of like trying to get in front of new customers that would be potentially interested in going to a spa. What you could do is you think about the customers you're currently getting to your spa and the reasons they're coming to you in the first place. And you kind of picking up a bit of an avatar, so to speak, of saying, right, some people that come to us from maybe they've got a wedding that's coming up and they want to get a facial for their kind of upcoming wedding, or they want to come down with their girls for their part of their hen do, for example, or some like there's going to be a wedding type customer that might be a regular. There might be other kind of like scenarios as well, but that's one I can think of for now. What is a good idea is to understand that if you're going to choose that type of avatar, it's a case of like working out the 3 mindsets they'll go through before making any purchase. And this is like along with their behavior. So the first thing they'll do is they'll might for whatever reason pique an interest in potentially being interested in going to a spa. That might be because they've just had a conversation with a friend who said, oh, I went to this amazing spa the other day. Or, oh, before my wedding, I went to this really nice luxury spa, or whatever it is. They could have a conversation with somebody. So it could be like an environmental thing that someone else has sparked an interest in you. You might see like an ad somewhere like that might kind of like, or you might walk past a spa one day. There's going to be so many different reasons why you could almost all of a sudden be interested in going to a spa. The fact that you're getting married could also be another reason as well. So is there going to be that interest phase? Then there's going to be the point at which they become so interested, they're now actively doing their research as to what spa they want to go to. So they might look up online, they might kind of look at what local spas are around them, what luxury ones there are. And then they're going to be at the point of making a purchasing decision. So they're in their buying stage at that point, like another little moment they'll be in, which is like, right, which one do I decide on? Do I decide on spa A or spa B? And there's going to be a number of different reasons where someone might be interested. So you've got 3 stages. You've got the interest, then you've got the research phase, and then you've got the decision phase. But as a spa owner, knowing that there's 3 levels, most spa owners will advertise to people when they're in the research phase. So they're being like saying spa or luxury spa in London. That's what someone's typing into Google or YouTube, or the best luxury spas in London, for example, anything like that. They're actually doing their research there. And that's the most expensive place to be. The next stage on, which is the buying phase, that's always a good time because you want to use things like, if you have got them opted in, you want to do some email campaigns like we've talked about already in previous episodes, but also you can do some heavy remarketing as well. So if someone's come to your website, spent a few minutes on like the booking form page, for example, and you know that they're there and they haven't yet booked in, sending them loads of ads and kind of good reasons for coming to the spa, and that's going to be a good point to advertise to those people. But getting in front of that audience earlier, at the point where they could be interested, is where like it's estimated that 87% of people who are interested in spas are at that stage, and it's difficult to get in front of them. But one way of doing it is to take that avatar and try and really step into the shoes of that person and think, right, maybe they might go to a spa. If they're going to get a facial for the wedding day, it might be a week before the wedding, right? They're not going to, like, if they've just been proposed to, they're going to be thinking of 101 different things. If they just said yes and they've just got engaged, they're going to be thinking of 101 different things. Going to the spa is way off their radar right now, not something they're interested in just yet, because they've got ages to think about. They've got many more important factors to come into play. But later on, you've got to think about what they might be researching at a time that is closer to the wedding day. And you might say, right, they would probably want to book in their spa session, which will be a week before their wedding maybe, but to actually book it in, that might happen a month in advance. So you're kind of looking about 5-6 weeks prior to the actual wedding day, and what other things they do in their research on, or even before that as well. Like in that period, like 6 to 10 weeks prior to their wedding day, what sort of things they're looking for. And at that time, they might be looking for things like luxury cars, for example, to take them from the church to the reception or to turn up on the day. Or they might be looking, I mean, it'd be a little bit late for bridesmaids' dresses. I would have thought they would have that sorted by then. And flowers and photographers and things. But you could also think of maybe some other things that, like maybe buying favors. I know that people buy favors for the wedding tables and things. And that's the sort of thing that can be considered something that would be in the last few weeks, 10 weeks to go maybe. That's the sort of thing they'll be looking for. And so as a savvy spa owner, you could be like, right, if people are looking to buy table plans or favors for the table, that's when you should also advertise, because it's a much cheaper place to be advertising. And if they're going to certain websites that are about on certain kind of like purchase pages and stuff like that, they're going to those pages, you can actually advertise on those pages as well. So quite just because I've done a bit of research in this, like theknot.com is a very famous, probably the most popular wedding website out there, and you can actually show your video ads on that website. There's some Google Display Network ads you can run there, and so you could say, right, if people are looking particularly for favors, wedding favors, that's the point at which I want to put my ad in front of those people for my spa, knowing that the timing is probably going to be right for that audience. Sure. And so then you can obviously do radius targeting. So you can say, I only want to advertise to 20 miles outside of where my spa is. Sure. But you can do like a wedding package as such. And that's also the same time as you could do like honeymoon type packages as well. You can start advertising to those people at those times. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to go back in time on your customer's psychology and think, right, what are they doing at the point where they might be starting to be interested in booking in a spa day? What's their behavior at that time? Yeah. And that's the point at which you can get in front of them with a special wedding day package. Yeah. Because you're the first to get into that and give them good advice or give them some good quality offers at that point. They're so much more likely to take you up in that moment. And you're advertising where it's cheap, not where all the other spas are advertising as well.
Yeah, I get that. And I guess in a way, it's almost the way that we think about marketing funnels, where you've got milestones that you're trying to get people to. They opted in, they need to get to the next step. They got to this step, they need to get to the next step, and you're tracking that. Well, actually, using that kind of same kind of model of milestones and also maybe contingencies. If you look at that journey that somebody's going through, think about those milestones. If they get engaged, well, let's think all the way back. Let's like reverse engineer it. So if they get engaged, then there might be, there's certain things that they're going to be doing once they get engaged, right? And maybe there's an engagement party. Maybe there's a pre-engagement party opportunity for the spa. Maybe if they're thinking about a hen do, maybe they're thinking about that there's an opportunity to have a group to the spa. Maybe there's an opportunity when they become a customer at either of those things that we give them an invitation or market to them for before their wedding day is, because we found that out during the process. So I really like the idea of two things there. I think one is this idea of thinking about the journey, kind of stepping into the shoes of where people are at given points of their of the process before getting to you, and more specifically the moment that they're in. I think that's just that's so, you know, such a good way of thinking about it, because, you know, and it goes, some people who will be listening to this and listen to what you just said will see this on different levels. You know, for me, the most simplistic way of looking at this is, hey, oh yeah, people are going to hop onto YouTube because now they're in a decision point of just reviewing a few different places, you know, what it's like here, what it's like there. Yeah, at one level, that's, you know, the most simplistic stage or way of thinking about this. But actually, really drilling down to each of these different milestones is just, you know, critical to be able to introduce, to create that awareness for what you've got to offer, especially in terms of acquisition of new leads. And I think not leveraging the opportunity that's available to you with the information that's gathered through Facebook, through YouTube and Google, from what we know, is missing a huge opportunity regardless. I mean, we've just made that up. I mean, you know, rarely we come to these podcasts with some kind of show notes, you know.
Yeah.
I know you completely put me on the spot, you know, so but you know, that's very true. And just in that short period of time, just thinking about that, I mean, there's so many things going through my mind now. I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, if I owned a spa, you know, if they went to a cake shop, if they were thinking about, you know, buying a wedding cake, you know, you were talking about wedding cars there, you're thinking about maybe a stylist or people that are doing their hair. Could we collaborate or work with those people? Are you thinking about this? Is this thinking? It's just, yeah, when you really dive into that, I get that.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is it's like, it's knowing that your prospects go through these three phases, right? They go through the interest phase, which is the most difficult one to crack. But if you can crack that, it's cheap and there's so many people that you can get in front of. Then you've got the research, and then you've got the decision phase. But the really interesting thing is that our behaviors change through those moments. So let's just flip it around and do a different thing altogether. Let's say you're buying a TV, for example. Now, I know nothing about TVs apart from if it looks nice and it's up on the wall and it's got a clear color and it sounds good, I'm happy. I don't know what I don't know, if that makes sense. I just really don't know much about TVs. If I'm going to go and buy a TV, I know I'm interested in it because I'm like, my old TV broke or whatever it is. I'm like, I saw my friend's TV and I thought that's great. Or I saw a TV on ad and I was like, great, I want to buy that TV, for example. Then I would go and do my research at that point. I would go on review sites. I would go on YouTube. I would go on all these different places at that research moment. And at that moment, I'm not interested in someone saying to me, buy this TV because it's the best one out there. I'm much more interested in someone saying to me, here's the top 10 TVs voted in 2016 or something like that. And I'll be like, that's what I want. I don't want someone promoting their TV just yet, if that makes sense. Because I'm not ready for a decision just yet. I'm still doing my research. So you need to give me research information. And then when I'm getting closer to that purchasing decision make, when I've actually been on someone's website and I've checked out the model type, or I'm going to YouTube and I'm typing in the actual model of TVs and looking up this type of model review, for example, at that point, I'm in a decision making mode. And that's the point where you're advertising. If you want to get in front of that audience at that point, that's the point where your advertising needs to be more a case of like, hey, look, we're running a deal on this TV, which has been voted in number 2 in 2016. We're running a deal on it right now. Would you come back to the website to find out more if you qualify for this particular deal? Something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that ad at that point is so much more engaging to me than it would have been a week ago when I was doing my research. And if I was just like if I was in an interest mode where I'm interested in, let's say, home design of a lounge, for example, where I know I'm probably going to get a new TV because I'm interested in doing my lounge, that's a point where I need a completely different video at that point, or an ad at that point, because at that point, when I'm in my interest phase of I want to redesign my lounge or my living room, at that point, I need an ad that's something like, this is the most discreet TV. You will never see it because it's so thin against the wall and it makes any living room look so awesome, or something like that. Okay, I'm interested at that point. I probably won't buy, but you've got me remarketed. I might be on your list at this point, and you've thrown your hat into the ring at a very early stage. So then later when I'm starting to design my living room, I'm like, oh, we should really budget for this TV. Yes, it's expensive, but it could be amazing. But that ad to show me that was very cheap at that time, because it would be on different websites and the messaging would be different. But it's just understanding that trying one ad out and thinking that you can just put it out to everybody, it might work. It's a way of doing it, but there's so much more efficient way where you don't have to annoy people, and you can, if you're just clever about it, you can really run some very, very effective campaigns, kind of talking to your prospect in whatever phase they're in, giving them what they want at that stage as well. And it's just a difference of 3 different videos or 3 different image ads or whatever it is, but you know their timing, and that's key.
Well, I've got kind of 2 questions for you, and one which we'll deal with one, and then I'll give you an example of something that happened to me recently, which we could also use an example as well, in terms of my how I went through that process from beginning to end. One would be, one question I have for you before that though is, how do you kind of segue between one ad in one phase to another ad in another phase, when you know that they're going to be moving hopefully from A to B and then from B to C? How do you segue? Is the segue the return path possibly with a remarketing ad, because you know that they saw something in, stage A, and so A1 is a remarketing ad. You're trying to get them to B, and then to get from B to C, they go to B1. How does it work?
Okay, cool. So that's a really, really good question. And I think I might have a very good answer for you as well, but you be the judge of that. So we did a lot of research and thought, right, because we've done so many different types of video ads, different styles, and we've kind of, through the process of looking over everything again and again and again, we've kind of come to this realization that, man, everyone's in different phases, and we've got to show different ads to these different people at these different phases, and know they go to different places at those times as well. And so, like, if I'm in my research mode, I might go to places like, for a living room, for example, I might go to Pinterest, for example, or I might go to Houzz, like HOUZZ.com, just because I have been doing my lounge recently, or my living room recently. But what we looked at was, what would we say in the video ad if we knew where our customers were at psychologically? And if they're in their interest moment, we often start the video with kind of a did you know type intro to the video. Hey, did you know that this product is, or did you know that if you do this, you'll achieve this? So it doesn't matter if you're in the e-commerce world, or if you're in the training world, or kind of like if you're looking to generate leads or buyers or whatever. It's starting off with that psychology of like a revelation, hey, did you know this? And it's sparking interest. And at that point, you're kind of just describing more about the product and hoping to glean someone's interest to then get them back to the website. Because if they go back to the website, you can remarket them at that point, and you know they're in their interest phase. Now, if they're in their research phase, you're starting to want to really provide more content at this point. So if it's a product, then what we recommend is showing more of the features and how the actual product works, demos, that sort of stuff. If it's more of a service-based business, you might want to show kind of some case studies or some how-tos or some step-by-steps, so people can feel like, oh yeah, I can see how that would work and how that would work for me as well. And then if you were if someone's in their buying phase, you want to kind of run ads to them, which is kind of like, it's a proof type ads where it's like, hey, look, this really works. We're running a webinar this evening. Come and check us out. Or this product is being discounted for this week only, or kind of like some sort of deal, some sort of urgency. You're basically kind of moving into an urgency state to say, you take action now because it's going to be perfect timing for you. Now, there is a way where you can say, right, run those 3 different types of ads and 3 different types of funnels off the back of that as well, if you want to be clever about it. What we've realized, if we script it intelligently, what we can do is actually like sandwich those 3 together. So if you're trying to get in front of people with the interest, and they're kind of like, let's say, for example, you're advertising on Facebook and they've shown an interest in home design, or you're on a website that they're interested in home design, or if you're on YouTube and you're looking up how to design my lounge or living room or something, then you might show them, hey, did you know, get that intro done, which naturally flows into the next part of the video, which is like, so let me show you 4 ways in which this can be applicable to you. Or let me show you the 3 features of this product that make this product so damn good, or something like that. So you can flow from that interest style ad into the content style ad. And then you can do the same thing with the last part as well. So you can kind of like stitch that last bit on to say, but hey, look, if you're ready and you want to find out more, we have a deal on this right now, or we're running a webinar tonight, or we've got a video that you can go and download right now. Go and do that right now. And so you basically can take someone from their interest phase all the way through to the urgencies phase and get them to convert there and then. So that can work like that as one ad. But then if you're getting in front of someone based on the fact that they're in the decision-making mode, then just show them the two last sections of that video ad. If that makes sense. So you kind of like, you record one ad, but you actually just take the first interest section out and it stands alone by itself. Like, okay, so let me show you 3 things about this new product on the market that's just so cool. And it starts like that. You
did. You were right. It was a clever answer.
Cool. Okay.
You're all right. I love that. Okay, so well, that really explains that clearly to me, and this became, was quite prevalent to me recently, because our video producer, he wanted to buy a new some stabilizer for his for our GH4 for our camera, and
okay, the Panasonic Lumix GH4.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. I only know that because I've actually got that one.
Affiliation on the podcast, but if you do want to send us free, no. So, no, it's the problem is, obviously, if you're doing panning shots or you're doing handheld stuff, you need something to stabilize the camera rather than a tripod. If you're walking around and you're following somebody, those kind of shots. And so he kind of explained to me that we needed this thing, and he's a lot more adept than me in terms of what we needed. So he did some research and said to me, it's going to cost you £750 for this whiz bang kind of thing. And out of curiosity, I was like, I don't really understand what this is. I get the concept of stabilizing the camera like a tripod, but I'm intrigued, how does it work? And it turns out these things have got like a gimbal in them which stabilize them, and I didn't know that they're electronic. Now, I only found these things out through going onto YouTube and initially actually searching for DSLR stabilizer.
Yep.
Now, that's kind of where I started my kind of journey. Very broad, really, kind of with some interest in that. Then came me naturally gravitating to Best DSLR Stablers 2016, right? Which then gave me some reviews and things like that. And then I then came to doing further research into which of the top ones that there would be applicable to our camera, what would work with our camera, what would work with our budget. Because they were the best didn't necessarily mean that they would fit within our budget. And if we're going to make an investment, we want to make sure that, it's going to stick with us for some time and isn't, we're not going to have a problem with it. So there was further then research and qualification of it. And then we kind of came into that buying decision over, I got some few remaining questions, and what at that point really just tipped me over the edge of, by the way, if you're sort of down to these two, and the reviews often start quite broad of lots of cameras, and basically it just came down to people reviewing two different ones, and this is the best one if for your situation. So that was it. I was done, and then I went online then to look for the best place to buy it from in terms of price. What was the best price comparison I could get it for? Could we get it shipped from a place in the UK rather than China? What was the overall cost? What was interesting was, of course, there was nobody throughout any of those moments that I was in that actually was a retailer that actually would have got my purchase if they would have brought me through that journey. And I ended up just buying from the e-commerce shop that offered the right delivery in the right time at the right price. And it could have been them or their nearest competitor that could have got lots of other people that might not have been so diligent over their research as I was, that they would be making a whole load more sales if they'd have gone through that process.
Exactly. And this is the really interesting thing, is that that you're like at those three different phases, you were searching different things, and you would have maybe been on YouTube for sure, but you would have been on a host of other websites as well, especially in that interest phase where you're like, questions like, do I need a stabilizer? What is a stabilizer? Sort of thing. Those types of questions. And if I knew you typed that in and you were on a certain website that was like on a web page that was about what does a stabilizer actually do and do I need one? That sort of content. And I was like, here's the best stabilizer ever, go and buy it for $750. You would have been like, I'm not sure if, what? That ad just doesn't resonate with me. And even if I go to that site, I'm probably not going to buy straight away and probably not even going to be interested. Whereas if that same company knew you were in that moment because they know what you're looking at on their website, and they showed you, because you can get YouTube ads to display in different websites using the display network. But at that point, if there was a video ad there that said something along the lines of, hey, in this video, I'm going to talk about stabilizers, whether you need them and what one you should go for. And that was the start of the video. You'd have been like, right, I'm in. I'm ready to listen to what this video has to offer. And that would have been that interest section of that video. Then it would have brought you into. So today what we're going to look at is this particular stabilizer, which is one of the newest on the market. It's a really good one, and the pros and cons, as well as how it works and what's really good about it, what's not so good about it. And went through like the whole thing, the whole spiel of why that is really, really good, all the features and the benefits in that content section, which would have been perfect for other moments you're in, but we've kind of guided you through that process quicker. And then the end of that video would be the more urgency-based language at that point to say, hey, look, the great thing about this is it's right now on deal on our website, and it's a limited offer for the next 50 products that are being sold. As soon as they get sold, you won't see this ad any longer. But right now, we've got an amazing deal on it. So if you want to go and check it out, that's the website to go and check out. Or even if you would like to reserve for our next sale, fill in your email here, for example, or something along those lines, just to get that urgency, get that connection, because you might still be in your research mode and we pushed you closer towards a sale, but you're still not ready because you're still like, well, I still want to go and check out some more stuff, but we've got your email and we know that if we've got a good deal running and it is a good product, you might end up buying our one anyway, sort of thing. So your cost-effective advertising at that point is all about meeting someone at the moment they're in, at the research moment, at the interest moment, at the buying moment, whatever moment they're in. It's making sure you get in front of them with that right communication. And that is what really makes a very, very successful campaign. And it's not just about this one product that people might buy, for example, because I know we're writing ads right now, knowing that in the interest phase for some of my potential prospects, they're kind of could be in a state where they're like either looking for more customers, which would be one thing, but they could be looking in the wrong, well, I said in the wrong place for looking at getting more customers, but they might be looking at something like SEO. They might say, how do I get my website ranked or something like that? And we have to infer that like, well, really they're looking to get more customers and we've got a better solution than SEO, or at least I believe that we do. And that's the point where I might say, my interest section might be like, hey, look, if you're looking to promote your business through either SEO, social media, email marketing, and there's all these different things that are so complicated, one of the best things that's working right now is YouTube advertising. And let me just, before we get into it, let me just show you 4 ways in which you can run video ads for your business. So then you're into your content phase. So you can kind of hijack other people's searches.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that you know they're looking at that and just thinking, right, if they're looking at SEO, they're going to be potentially interested in what I've got, but I've got to do a good job of turning them into a hot prospect at that point.
Yeah.
It's just understanding that your customers go through all these different phases, but it's that interest phase. If you can like map out those moments that your customers go through in those interest phases and think, right, I know specifically what they're going to be looking for, then that's the point at which you think, right, I can advertise in so many more places now, and it can still be really, really cost effective as long as my ad talks that moment. If you try and say, here's the best performing YouTube advertising campaign, and someone's looking up SEO, they're not interested. So you have to be a bit more clever about it.
Yeah, and you know, I would encourage anybody to think about their own buying behavior and decisions that they've made. And just think through that, you know, when you started talking through those moments, I immediately gravitated towards, hey, well, you know, we just went, you know, if I just think back through how we got through to buying that stabilizer, you know, even though it's something completely different from your own business, you can learn a lot from thinking about that, because it, you know, you can really get into what needs to happen to be able to explore these opportunities that's available to everybody right now with YouTube. And also, I think it really helps you prepare yourself to write, you know, better, more direct copy if it's a script for each of those, because of course you're preempting their behavior because you know what they're looking for. Incidentally, by the way, in case anybody was wondering which was the stabilizer, what was the stabilizer that we bought? We bought a Beholder DS1, and I can absolutely tell you for sure it's the best thing since sliced bread. And
we should tell them that we can send them to us anytime they like.
Exactly, yeah. But here's the interesting thing. I just wonder, the company that we bought it from, who also sell very expensive DJ Phantom advanced drones, will not be marketing to me, and will not be marketing to their customers after I'd spent £700 odd on this stabilizer, that actually if I bought some level of advanced video equipment, then I might well also be interested in drones. And, you know, so this just continues to spark conversation, and it's super interesting. So thanks very much for sharing moments, Tom. It's been awesome, and look forward to continuing the conversation in the next podcast.
Of course, sounds amazing.
Thanks, Tom.